The sound that broke me wasn't a scream or glass shattering, or even a slammed door. It was laughter. Intimate. Familiar. Coming through my wife's phone. It was 11:42 p.m. Olivia was asleep beside me, breathing steady, one hand resting on the sheet between us. Her phone buzzed once, lighting the dark. Normally I wouldn't touch it. But earlier that evening, she'd asked me to check if her sister had texted back. My hand moved before my mind caught up. The screen lit up with a message. Can't stop thinking about tonight. You're intoxicating. D. For a few seconds I stared at it, too numb to process. The initial thought that crossed my mind wasn't anger or jealousy. It was confusion. D. Then another message popped up like a punch to the gut. Same time next week. My place this time. The room suddenly felt airless. Every sound amplified. The hum of the ceiling fan, the faint ticking of the clock, her steady breathing. My fingers trembled as I put the phone back, face down, exactly how I found it. I looked at Olivia's peaceful face and thought, absurdly, how can she sleep so easily? My chest burned with a cocktail of disbelief and dread. I wanted to shake her awake, demand answers, but something inside me, a quiet, terrified voice, said don't. Not yet. So I lay there, staring into the dark, counting every second until sunrise. Cracks in the perfect marriage. We'd been married 8 years, together for 12. To the outside world we were the definition of steady. People said we made it work. They saw the vacation photos, the anniversary posts, the comfortable silences and thought it was love. But behind closed doors something had changed. Talk less, much less. She'd pull away when I kissed her cheek in the morning, saying she was late. She laughed less too, or maybe she just stopped laughing with me. Still, I never doubted her loyalty. Not once. Until that night. The next morning, Olivia hummed as she made coffee, scrolling through her phone. She smiled at something on screen, thumb moving fast. When she noticed me watching, she quickly locked it. Morning, she said, forcing casual warmth. Morning, I managed, voice tight. She kissed my cheek, a light brush of lips that felt rehearsed. Long day ahead. Big client meeting. I wanted to say, with Daniel. But I didn't. I just nodded. I watched her leave, heels clicking on the floor, perfume trailing behind, and felt something cold settle inside me. The quiet investigation. I didn't confront her. Not right away. Instead, I started paying attention. The small things. The way she lingered over her reflection before work. The sudden new wardrobe. The secretive phone habits. The working late texts that always came in pairs. One to me, one, no doubt, to him. When she came home, she smelled faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. Warm, musky, masculine. Each time I told myself I was overreacting. That my paranoia would destroy us faster than any affair could. But deep down I already knew. One evening she came home smiling, eyes bright. Promotion's looking good, she said, hugging me loosely. Congratulations, I said. Don't jinx it yet, she laughed, heading straight for the shower. While the water ran, I picked up her phone. I told myself I wouldn't open it. But my fingers didn't listen. Her passcode was the same, our anniversary date. How ironic. The chat thread with Daniel Pierce was pinned at the top. Tapped it open. Photos. Flirty text. Inside jokes. The kind of affection that used to be ours. And then words that twisted my stomach. If she ever finds out, I'll tell her it's you who won't let go. Froze. She. Daniel's wife. So he was married to. The woman who already knew it. Took me 2 weeks before I reached out to her. Her name was Emily Pierce. I found her through Daniel's Facebook. They had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Happy family photos, vacations, school events. A life that looked perfect like mine once did. I stared at her smiling face for a long time before typing. I think our spouses are having an affair. I have proof. I'm not here to create drama. I just need to understand. I almost didn't hit send. But when I did, my hands shook. Her reply came within an hour. You're not the first to tell me. But I'd like to hear it from you. We agreed to meet at a small cafe on a rainy Thursday afternoon. I got there early, heart pounding like I was waiting for a job interview. When she walked in, I recognized her instantly. Composed, beautiful, but with a weariness in her eyes I understood too well. She sat across from me, clasping her hands around her coffee cup. "I'm sorry," I said first. "I wish we were meeting under different circumstances." She gave a small, bitter smile. "So do I. But I think we both already know, don't we?" I nodded, sliding my phone across the table. These are from her phone. I didn't want to believe it, but... She looked at the screen without flinching. "He confessed. Months ago. Said it was a mistake, that it was over." I wanted to believe him. Her voice didn't shake. She spoke like someone who'd run out of tears long ago. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked quietly. She met my gaze. "Because you weren't ready. You're only here now because you finally are." Her words hit me like a slap because she was right. I stared at her, trying to read the calm on her face. There was pain there, yes, but also control. A kind of quiet strength I hadn't seen in myself for weeks. "What now?" "Yes. Do we confront them?" Emily's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "Not yet. Let's see how far they're willing to go." The pact we exchanged numbers and agreed to stay in touch. Over the next week, we gathered pieces of evidence like detectives on opposite sides of the same wound. She'd text me updates. "He told me he's traveling next Friday. Guess who else has a work trip?" Or she'd send photos, receipts, text timestamps, hotel bookings. Each revelation was another nail in the coffin of the life I thought I had. Yet beneath the shared pain, something strange began forming. An understanding. A kind of fragile alliance built on betrayal and the need for truth. One night, as I scrolled through the messages again, Emily called. Her voice was steady. "They're meeting tomorrow," she said. "I know where." Silence stretched between us. "You want to see it with your own eyes?" she asked softly. My heart pounded. "Yes." "Then be ready," she said. "Because once you do, there's no going back." The next morning felt heavier than any before. Every second stretched thin with anticipation, dread, and the kind of silence that comes before a storm. Emily texted at 8:47 a.m. "Hotel Clarion. Room 306. They're checking in at noon." I stared at the message until the words blurred. My palms were slick with sweat. I wasn't sure what scared me more, seeing it or realizing I already knew how it would look. I told Olivia I was heading to the office early. She smiled, kissed me lightly, and said she had a presentation downtown. When she walked out that door, I felt something inside me crack, a quiet, final sound. The unveiling. The Clarion was one of those discreet, modern hotels businesspeople used for conferences and affairs alike. I arrived before noon and parked across the street. Emily was already there, sitting in her car a few spaces away. When our eyes met through the rain-specked windshield, we both knew we didn't need to speak. We waited. At 12:09, a black sedan pulled up. Daniel stepped out first, umbrella in hand. He looked every bit the polished corporate man. Pressed shirt, easy smile, no trace of guilt. Then Olivia emerged from the passenger side. She looked radiant. Her laughter, the same one that haunted me that night, floated through the rain as she took his arm. They moved with practiced ease, like this wasn't their first time. Every instinct screamed at me to run across the street, to tear them apart, to demand why. But I didn't move. My fingers clenched the steering wheel until they hurt. Emily's voice came softly through the Bluetooth. "You need to see it all. Then decide what to do." We watched as they disappeared through the hotel's glass doors. 10 minutes later she said, "Follow me." She got out of her car and walked into the building with a kind of calm that unnerved me. I hesitated, then followed. Inside, the lobby smelled of citrus and polished wood. The elevator music was maddeningly cheerful. We didn't speak. At the third floor she led me to room 306. The door was slightly ajar. Froze. "Go ahead," she whispered. My heart pounded so violently it drowned out everything else. I pushed the door open just an inch. Enough to see clothes on the floor. Her blouse. His shirt. Their voices low, breathless. My world tilted. The air vanished. Emily placed a hand on my arm. That's enough. I stumbled back, chest burning, eyes stinging. How can you be so calm? I rasped. Her expression didn't change. Because I stopped being surprised by betrayal a long time ago. The confrontation. We didn't burst in or shout or humiliate them, though every cell in my body screamed for it. Emily had other plans. That evening, she sent both Daniel and Olivia identical texts from an anonymous number. You've been seen. Check your email. She'd already created a shared folder. Photos, screenshots, hotel confirmations, messages. Everything. I watched Olivia's face when she opened it that night. She turned pale, then red, then something unreadable. Her phone slipped from her hand. Who sent this? She whispered. I did, I said. Her eyes flew to mine, wide, terrified, guilty. Ethan. I can explain. Don't, I said, voice flat. I've heard enough lies. Tears welled up, fast and frantic. It wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't plan it. I just felt invisible. You were distant and I found comfort in another man's bed. Finish. That's your explanation. She sobbed, reaching for me, but I stepped back. For years, I'd imagined how it might feel to lose her. I thought it would be unbearable. But standing there watching her cry, all I felt was emptiness. That night I packed a small bag and left. A message from Emily. Days turned into a week. I stayed in a small apartment downtown, trying to function. Work, sleep, repeat. But grief has a way of seeping into everything. Coffee tasted dull, silence felt too loud, and sleep brought dreams of her laughter in another man's arms. Then, one afternoon, Emily called. We need to talk, she said. Her tone was different. Urgent, tense. When I arrived at the same cafe, she looked shaken. Gone was the composed woman who'd guided me through the wreckage. I didn't tell you everything, she said quietly. There's something you should know. I frowned. About Daniel. She nodded. About Olivia. She slid an envelope across the table. Inside were photographs. Not of the affair, but of Emily and Olivia. Together. Smiling. Drinking wine in what looked like a hotel bar. I looked up, stunned. What is this? That's from last year, Emily said. Before I knew she was the woman. I blinked. You knew each other. She exhaled, eyes glistening. I met her at a work seminar. We became close. She was kind, funny, understanding. When Daniel and I were having problems, she was the one I confided in. The realization hit slowly, cruelly. She knew. Emily nodded. Every fight, every doubt, every detail. She played the friend while sleeping with him. My stomach twisted. The betrayal I thought I understood deepened into something darker. Deliberate. Planned. She befriended you. I whispered. She did, Emily said bitterly. And I let her in. That's the part that kills me most. The decision. Silence hung between us, thick with grief and rage. What do we do now? Finally asked. Emily looked at me for a long moment. We move on. But not quietly. She had already sent everything, not just to Daniel's company, but to their mutual professional network. The affair cost him his job. Olivia's firm launched an ethics review. I didn't stop her. I thought it would bring satisfaction, maybe even closure. But revenge is hollow when your heart's already dust. Weeks passed. Olivia called, texted, even came to my office once, begging to talk. I couldn't face her. One night, she left a message I couldn't ignore. I'm sorry for everything. But there's something you need to know about Emily. Please call me. I didn't. Not at first. But curiosity eventually won. When I did, her voice was calm, eerily so. She wasn't just avenging herself, Olivia said. Emily wanted you to see it. She wanted you to hate me. Because Daniel left her years ago. And came back only because I was with him. You were part of her punishment for him. The room spun. What are you talking about? She manipulated both of us, Olivia whispered. She knew what she was doing when she messaged you. She wanted witnesses. She wanted to destroy him, and anyone tied to him. I hung up, mind racing. Was it possible? Had Emily, the woman who'd stood beside me in the rain, who'd helped me expose them, used me as part of her revenge? Twist. I drove to her house that night. Her car was gone. The front door was slightly open. Inside, the place was stripped bare. Photos gone, walls empty. On the dining table sat a single envelope with my name on it. Ethan. I told you once that I stopped being surprised by betrayal. Delight. When I learned what Daniel and Olivia did, it broke me, again. But then I met you, and for a brief moment I saw something familiar. Someone who knew what it felt like to be left in the dark. I didn't lie to you about what they did. But I didn't tell you what I needed from it. Watching you face the truth was the only way I could face mine. They deserved to fall. And now they have. Don't look for me. Start over. Somewhere new. Emily. I read the note twice. Then again. For the first time in months, I didn't feel anger. Only exhaustion. Olivia lost her job, her reputation, and, eventually, her home. Daniel vanished from the city. Emily disappeared completely. And me. I moved to a quiet town by the coast. Some nights I still hear that laughter in my head, but it doesn't hurt the same. Betrayal changes you. It strips away the illusions until you see what's left underneath. Not the pain, not the vengeance, but the clarity. Because sometimes, the cruelest twist isn't the betrayal itself. It's realizing that even the ones who help you heal might be breaking you in their own way. The end.